Meanwhile, could I ask a question?
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure.
Okay, so are there any basic patterns to accompany? I mean, so for
Mm-hmm.
instance, if we're doing a piano cover, we
Mm-hmm.
generally would go, the left hand would play some arpeggios, the right hand playing the melody. So similarly, are there any very specific patterns to accompany people, especially with Indian classical music?
Okay, so yes, that is very, very important. Like I do a lot of these duo gigs here with for Indian classical or like Bollywood songs, and it
Mm-hmm.
works the same thing. I use the same techniques, honestly, like with
Mm-hmm.
Western and Indian. I always think about creating density versus avoiding density always, and
Right.
making something sound nice versus making something sound bad, but immediately making it sound something nice,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like I would always like, if okay, tum hi ho, for
Yeah.
example,
Mm-hmm.
super simple song, like I would just be very, very soft and simple with that.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things, very, very simple things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not playing exactly as what the recording is doing. I'm adding notes to that, but if it sounds
Right.
nice, it is nice, and why not use it, right? You want to have fun
Right.
when you're on stage, and you like, I could do this like simple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could do that. I could do that. That's just one way
Mm-hmm.
of sounding. But then if you want to
Yes.
sound more sophisticated, right? And
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to sound hip or hype, whatever you want to call it. So like you can embellish with a lot of things. Like that is a
Mm-hmm.
stretch. I don't know if I can show this to you. Okay, let me try. So basically what I'm doing is a tenth. Tenth is again a third or a
Right.
the,
Yes.
but going up, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like tenths always make things sound nice.
Uh-huh.
So do you see how it's a stretch? It is a stretch, like
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? Those kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
always make things sound nice. So that is
Right.
one thing. And then like thinking about making it busy sometimes, but not so busy that you're
Yes. Yes.
overpowering, but just making it busy sometimes. And
Of course. Mm-hmm.
uh, basically, right? So thinking about
Mm-hmm.
that kind of
Mm-hmm.
sound, most of how I learned accompanying was to actually accompany people and to know what they want me
Mm-hmm.
to do. Like I always surrender myself.
Right.
Like I always be like, what do you want me to do? Right? But if it's my thing, I would be like, just
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
these things. But if a vocalist is asking me to play for them, I would literally surrender myself and be like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want me to do? Like, how do you want me to embellish what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one thing.
Yes.
The other
Mm-hmm.
thing is I learned a lot from listening to a lot of piano and vocal jazz duos.
Mm-hmm.
So like they
Okay.
like that's, and also like even gospel music, African American gospel music,
Uh-huh.
listening to how they accompany, they always create all these dissonances but also resolve. Like they go like,
Mm-hmm.
oops, like
Mm-hmm.
those kind of
Yeah.
movements, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it depends. Like I did that with, actually I'll show you one song. I with the band I did Hamma Hamma. once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for that I literally
Mm-hmm.
went like I created like more like jazz chords with that. So I went like, I don't know if you can imagine the melody on top. I was almost like humma, humma, humma,
Yeah, I did that. Mm-hmm.
and then like all like nowhere
Uh-huh. Right.
it's not there in the song at all. So that is
Mm-hmm.
entering the territory of reharmonization.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
dissonance, but that
Mm-hmm.
matches because it goes "Madham machle."
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot the melody. I forgot. Anyway, but getting it though,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yes,
creating that
yes.
dissonance,
Uh-huh.
but releasing that dissonance. Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Root again, home. So
Yes.
dissonance, nice, nice, home. No, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Nice, nice, and then home. And then you go
Mm-hmm.
back to
Mm-hmm.
Brahma,
Yeah.
basically. So, like
Right.
thinking about
Right.
all these things while accompanying is very important. Like I'm doing right now, like bass with my left hand. I'm doing that, but
Uh-huh.
if I'm playing with a band, I wouldn't do that. I would
Okay,
stay around
Ashwin,
here.
Right.
Ashwin, I think we'll need to move on.
Okay,
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for the
That's
answer.
okay. I get carried away with questions. There's
I know.
so
I've
much to
sat
talk
with him
about.
on call for like 4 hours straight, and that's all we do. We just break down songs, and that's what we have been doing for years now.
Wow.
Okay, so rhythm. Very, very important to know the subdivisions. Like starting now, I take this from me, the file. Just so what I've written is that I've written all the subdivisions in a 4/4 rhythm, right? So feeling a pulse is very important. Like pulse is basically your metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That doesn't change because every measure you see, this is a measure divided by a bar line, measure, bar line. So every measure you see is 4 beats long. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keeps going. But what changes is the number of notes in each measure. And to feel that is very important to be able to play any kind of piano accompaniment because it's a lot of syncopation going on here. Like, especially with what I played. Oh no, I shouldn't. Um, okay, it doesn't play. Okay, so if I so the starting part I went like, so knowing how to count is very, very important. There's two ways to count this. There are two ways to count this. One is to think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that is when you're thinking of it a little swing or swung, right? You're just thinking of it a little swing instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and which is very straight, versus 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and right. But if you break down that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it comes out to be something called the triplets. Triplets is where you're trying to fit in 3 notes in just 1 beat. So if I'm going, this is my metronome pulse, ta 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 ta, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So in this case, I'm feeling it as like triplets to know where all my parts fall down, and that's very important to do. Like whenever you listen to any song, always count. Even when you play, always count. That you can work, that'll better your rhythm so much. Like thinking about 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 right. Then what? Oops, that's crazy. I Okay, Okay, that works. Right. So I'm just going this. So what I need to know is that this should land on the of every beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and my left hand is going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So combining these two will be a crazy challenge if you don't count. It's I find it next to impossible if I don't count. There's one way to feel it in your head, but once you know how to count them and know exactly which subdivision the notes fall into, syncopation is just a very simple game to think about, right? So I'm just going 1 and 2 and 3 and sorry 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how I came up with the other parts of it, seeing where the melody fits in, right? But keeping that groove in your head is very important. It's tough, it's not easy, that's why I made mistakes. But like, do you see that? And 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a try it. It's hard, but once you make it a point that you are going to count in every song you do, everything you play or everything you listen to, if you count, like back home when I used to go to college, like I would just be in the metro and just keep tapping. People would get irritated, but I would stop. But at least in my mind, I would always think about rhythm, always like thinking about subdivisions. Like if I do like taka 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 taka, all I'm doing is still 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5, right? 7 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. No, yeah, so 7 plus 4 plus 5 16, right? So 16 is basically 4 4 16. Ta ta ta. So ta. Okay, I'll try. Ta 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 1. Do you see that? So thinking about subdivisions, like you can even ta 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 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Thinking about it like that, it all sums up to 16. 1 2 sorry, let me try. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. Oops, sorry. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1.